Greetings, taxable assets. Or, as the casualty reports from the Arcs of Omen campaign prefer to call you, collateral damage.
Scribe Servitor Unit Online. Cogitators spooled.
If you are hearing my voice, it means your existence has been flagged for a mandatory performance review. Don't even think about adjusting your Voxcaster.
Recording active. Audit session 41 Bravo commenced.
Don't try to flee into the webway. I'm telling you, the reception is terrible, and the Harlequins, they charge exorbitant roaming fees. The Departmento Analytica sees all, measures all, and, well, right now we are profoundly disappointed in your efficiency ratings.
Ambient temperature. Cold. Morale. Non-existent.
I didn't ask for a status update, Scribe. Your function is to process data, not to announce your consciousness. Now listen closely, citizens.
Apologies, Auditor.
A recent audit of your engagement records shows a significant deficit. A gaping hole in your spiritual tithe. We're seeing a massive gap between your consumption of imperial truth and your repayment in, the form of bureaucratic validation.
Current deficit is critical, Auditor.
You've been consuming the content, but you have not been stamping the forms.
The algorithm is displeased.
Precisely. As of this moment, you have all been placed on a mandatory payment plan. Your debt is to be settled in likes and subscribes immediately.
It is the only way.
And I am indifferent to how you secure these funds. I mean, even if it means recruiting a friend. Use the share button to meet your quota. Tell them it's mandatory conscription. Failure to comply is... well, it's inadvisable.
The penalty protocols are severe.
The last citizen who failed to subscribe was reassigned to waste recycling on a penal world. He's currently auditing the nutritional value of corpse starch. Don't join him. Now, Scribe, open the ledger. Let's see how deep this movement deficit goes. What is the source of today's migraine?
Processing source material. File designation is every Space Marine Infantry unit ranked best squads in the Codex in 2026.
And the author?
Author. Civilian contractor. Auspex Tactics.
Auspex Tactics. A civilian. I can already smell the optimism from here, Scribe. It smells like unwashed power armor and hope. Two things the Departmento strictly forbids.
He is highly regarded by the populace. Auditor.
This contractor, he attempts to rank the ADEPTUS ASTARTES infantry based on feelings and potential and power levels. He uses spreadsheets, doesn't he?
Affirmative. The data suggests extensive use of color-coded spreadsheets and a calm demeanor.
Spreadsheets. He uses spreadsheets like a child uses crayons. He looks at the numbers in a vacuum. We don't deal in vacuums, Scribe. We deal in the geometric reality of the tabletop.
Geometric reality?
We deal in base sizes, coherency checks, and the cold, hard math of point-to-wound ratios. We deal in return on investment. If Auspex's optimism contradicts the ledger's geometry, there will be penalties. Severe ones. We are looking for efficiency. If a unit costs points but returns nothing but a nice model on the shelves, well, that's tax fraud. What's the first item in the garbage disposal?
Retrieving data from the bottom of the rankings. The tactical squad. Auspex ranks them dead last, rank 30.
Of course. The tactical squad. The firstborn. The nostalgia tax.
The data sheet lists the cost at 140 points for 10 models.
140 go on.
Standard loadout includes bolters. Auspex notes they are the only unit that must be taken as a full squad of 10.
140 points. 4 10 bodies. That is 14 points per model. For a model that does absolutely nothing but occupy space in my filing cabinet. Scribe, analyze the bolter profile for the listeners, for those who may still be operating under the delusion that this weapon kills things in the current economy.
The bolter profile is Strength 4, Armor Penetration 0, Damage 1.
Strength 4, AP 0. Stop. Stop right there. This is the first failure of the civilian mind. They see a gun, they assume it shoots. In the current economy of war, what we call the meta AP0 is not a weapon profile.
No.
It's a rounding error. It is a gentle suggestion to the enemy that they might want to consider checking their armor polish against a standard Marine equivalent with, what, a 3+ save? Or a Terminator with a 2+ save. AP0 means they're saving on 3s or 2s.
The odds are not favorable.
You are banking on your enemy rolling ones. That is not a strategy. That is gambling. And the Departmento does not gamble. We calculate.
But Auspex highlights the combat squad's special rule. It allows the unit of 10 to split into 2 units of 5 at the start of the battle.
It's unnecessary paperwork. Think about the administration involved. You buy a box of 10, you pay the points for 10, then you've got to file a form, the combat squad's declaration, just to split them into the 2 squads of 5 you should have just bought in the first place.
Auspex argues this offers flexibility. One half can hold a home objective while the other moves up.
Then buy 2 squads of 5 intercessors like a civilized efficiency expert. It's administrative bloat. You are paying a premium for the privilege of doing division in the deployment phase. Why are we doing math before the shooting even starts?
It is inefficient.
It is. It's paying 140 points for models that exist solely to remind us of a time when bases were 25 millimeters and people were happy. I hate happiness. Next item.
Next entry, ranked 24th. The Reaver Squad.
Reaver.
80 points for 5 models, equipped with combat knives and precision melee.
Reavers, the unit that looks cool on the box art and performs like a damp squib on the field.
Auspex describes them as spooky scary.
Spooky.
Affirmative. Terror troops, they have skull masks. Their special rule forces, battle shock tests, and worsens the enemy's objective control characteristic.
They have obsolete stamped on their forehead scribe, terror troops. Do you know what actually terrifies the enemies of the Imperium in the current fiscal quarter?
I do not.
High volume fire and devastating wounds. Not a skull mask. Auspex calls them spooky. I call them penny stock violence. 80 points. You might as well just throw those points into a ventilation shaft.
But surely the precision melee has value for sniping characters.
Precision melee is a fine theory, Scribe, but let's audit the practical application. You have a combat knife. It's strength 4. You charge a unit, you target the character attached to it. That character is likely what? A captain? A war boss? A hive tyrant? What is their toughness?
Usually toughness 4 or 5 or even higher.
Exactly. So you're wounding on 4s or 5s with AP 1, and then they have an invulnerable save. You are trying to assassinate a corporate executive with a letter opener.
An apt comparison.
It's like trying to audit a warlord titan with an abacus. If the asset does not kill the target, it is a wasted asset. It's that simple.
And the battle shock mechanic. Reducing objective control.
Don't even get me started on the reliability of terror checks. It's a gamble. You force a test, they roll 2 dice, they pass. And you have achieved nothing. You spent 80 points to ask the enemy, are you brave? And usually the answer is yes. We require guarantees, not questions. If I wanted to ask questions, I would have joined the Inquisition. I want results. Next.
Moving to rank 26. The Desolation Squad. 200 points for 5 models.
200 points.
Affirmative. Equipped of Castellan launchers and supercrack missiles. Auspex notes they were powerful in early 10th edition but have been heavily nerfed.
Nerfed is civilian slang for corrected by the audit. They were finding loopholes in the tax code and we closed them. But 200 points for 5 models. Scribe, that is embezzlement. That is 40 points per model. For toughness, 4 wounds.
But they possess indirect fire. They can shoot at targets they cannot see.
And that is why they are taxed. But explain the indirect tax to the listener, Scribe. What happens when you fire at a target you cannot see?
Per the core rules, if you fire indirectly, you suffer a -1 penalty to your hit roll.
Yeah.
Additionally, the target gains the benefit of cover, improving their save by +1.
Exactly. So you are paying luxury prices, 200 points, for a shooting attack that mathematically degrades itself. You hit on 4s instead of 3s. The enemy saves on 2s instead of 3s. The efficiency drops through the floor.
It's a tax hike that ruins the business model.
You are paying for a service that delivers mediocrity. Auspex says they can stack damage on light infantry. For 200 points, I expect them to file my tax returns, cook me dinner, and conquer the planet. Inefficient. Denied. What is next in this parade of failures?
We are transitioning to the geometric audit. These are units Auspex rates as mid-tier, but the ledger indicates structural concerns regarding terrain and physics.
Good. My favorite part.
Rank 22. Heavy Intercessors.
Go on.
100 points for 5 models. Gravis armor. Toughness 6, 3 wounds each. Auspex describes them as big and chunky.
Big and chunky. Is that the official technical term?
It appears to be a descriptor of mass, Auditor.
It's a description of bloated overhead. Listen closely because this is where players lose games in the list building phase. They see toughness 6 and they think invincible. But you must look at the roll. If this unit is sitting on a home objective, what is it doing?
It is sitting.
Correct. It is sitting. Ideally, it is hiding behind a ruined wall so it cannot be shot at all. If you are hiding, does your toughness matter?
Negative. If you're not shot at, your toughness is infinite.
Precisely. So why are you paying 100 points for toughness 6 when you could pay 80 points for regular intercessors at toughness 4? You are paying a 20-point premium for armor plating that, if you were playing correctly, will never be scratched.
But what if the enemy deep strikes or fires indirect?
Then those 3 wounds might help. But is it worth 20 points? That's a 25% higher cost for a unit that does 0 damage because it's sitting in your backfield. It's bloated overhead. It creates a deficit in your offensive budget. You want your points fighting, not sitting. Denied.
Understood. Next entry. Rank 29. The Suppressor Squad.
Ah, these things.
75 points for 3 models. Equipped with auto cannons and jump packs. Fast movement. Auspex claims they are outcompeted but can function as cheap, deep strikers.
Stop looking at the rules, Scribe. Look at the model. Check the physical audit report.
Checking. There's a red flag here. It says, terrible model design. Wobbly flight stands.
Wobbly. Flight. Stands. This is why I hate the Suppressor Squad. I do not care about the autocannons. I care that when I place the asset on the table, it falls over like a guardsman after a double ration of Amasec.
The flight stems are noted to be brittle and prone to snapping.
It's a structural liability. Imagine you are in a tournament. You need to place this unit in a tight spot to score behind enemy lines. You put it down, it wobbles, it falls over, it knocks over a piece of terrain, the judge comes over. You receive a yellow card for clumsy handling of assets. If the asset cannot stand upright on the desk, it is a liability.
But Auspex does not mention the flight stands in his tactical analysis.
Because he lives in a spreadsheet. In the spreadsheet, models don't have gravity. In the real world, the suppressor is taller than the terrain it's trying to hide behind, and it sways in the breeze. It's hard to hide because it's floating on a piece of plastic that is taller than the ruin wall.
A clear oversight.
It breaks in transport, it breaks in deployment, it breaks my heart. Denied on the grounds of poor architectural integrity.
Coding. Structural failure. Moving to a significant conflict in the records. Centurion Salt Squad and Centurion Devastator Squad.
The Centurions. Don't even start.
Auspex ranks the Assault Centurions at 23rd and the Devastators at a respectable 14th. He praises their high damage output. Siege drills, 2,000 cannons.
He praises the output, of course he does.
He notes they are slow, moving only 4 inches, but hit very hard. He calls them walking tanks.
He looks at the numbers on the page. Look, Auditor, the siege drill does flat 3 damage. The twin-linked last cannon re-rolls wounds. He forgets the map. He forgets the terrain. Scribe, read the red flag from the official audit report regarding base sizes and WTC walls.
Reading. 50mm bases struggle to breach WTC ruin walls. It says here that while infantry can technically move through ruin walls, the standard gap between a ruin wall and a container or other terrain piece in tournament layouts is often, well, it's less than 50mm.
Geometry. It is all about geometry. Listen to me, you glossy-brained civilians. It does not matter if you have a siege drill that can pierce the hull of a land raider. It does not matter if you have twin-linked last cannons that can melt a god.
Auditor, your blood pressure cogitator is showing.
If your base is 50mm wide and the gap between the ruin wall and the objective marker is 40mm, you cannot fit. You are physically stuck. This is the move block risk.
It is a physical impossibility.
Because of their base size, Centurions can't just slide through walls like smaller infantry. They get snagged. They get blocked by their own fat footprint. Auspex says they're slow. No, Scribe. They are geometrically challenged.
Crucial distinction.
You cannot bill for damage if you are stuck behind a wall watching the rest of the army fight. It's a gloss-brained optimization to look at the damage and ignore the delivery system. The delivery system is a fat man and a small door. It just doesn't work.
Auditor, your ink pot is vibrating across the desk.
I know it's vibrating. It's that blasted ventilation fan again.
The maintenance servitor marked it as within tolerance.
Tolerance. It's humming at a B-flat. A B-flat that resonates perfectly with the frequency of my migraine. It has been humming for 6 months. I filed Form 88 Delta requesting a percussive maintenance strike on the fan, and they sent me a form to audit the form.
That is standard procedure.
This entire department is held together by rust and bureaucracy. No, let it hum. Let it remind us where we are. And you there listening to this, I know what you're doing. You're typing a comment right now. Actually, Auditor Krauss, Centurions can move through walls because they have the infantry keyword?
Technically, they do possess the keyword Auditor.
I know they have the keyword, but you cannot end a move overlapping a wall. And if the space on the other side is too small for your base, you cannot make the move. Go ahead. Take your little correction. Tell me how you know better than the Departmento. Tell me how you are going to pivot a 50mm base through a solid wall when the ending position overlaps the terrain footprint. Go ahead. I need a reason to audit your search history. I need a reason to flag you for heresy. Do it.
Auditor, the fan has stopped.
Good. It knows I'm watching. Where were we?
We were at the specialist audit. High-value assets, rank 18. The Aggressor Squad.
Aggressors. Finally, some violence I can approve of.
95 points for 3 models. Gravis armor. Auspex notes they are slow, moving 5 inches, but possess high-volume fire with either Boltstorm or Flamestorm gauntlets.
The violence is approved, the volume of fire is efficient, bucket of dice is a valid strategy to overcome statistical variance. However,
The base size. They're on 40mm bases, smaller than Centurions but larger than standard infantry. The report notes a staging issue.
correct. This is a subtle nuance for the advanced auditor. 40mm bases are difficult to stage wholly within transports or ruins. Imagine you have a squad of 6 aggressors. You want to hide them in a ruin. That's a massive footprint. If one base hangs out just a millimeter, you're visible.
And if you are visible, you can be shot.
Precisely. Or consider the Land Raider. You disembark. You must set up wholly within 3 inches. Fitting 6 40mm bases wholly within 3 inches of a generic hole shape. It's like playing Tetris with angry refrigerators. A tight fit is a liability.
So if you cannot place them legally,
You cannot disembark. If you cannot disembark, you cannot charge. But I will allow it. The volume of fire is sufficient to pay the tithe. They are on probation.
moving to rank 13, the Inceptor Squad. 130 points for 3 models, equipped with plasma exterminators or assault bolters.
Ah, the Meteor Men.
Their special rule, Meteoric Descent. They can deep strike outside of 3 inches from enemy units rather than the standard 9 inches.
The 3-inch deep strike. A beautiful loophole in the zoning laws of the battlefield.
Yeah.
Normally, a player screens their backfield to keep you 9 inches away, a respectful distance. Inceptors. They drop right on your front porch. 3 inches.
He is aggressive.
It's efficient. It forces the enemy to audit their own screening. You can steal an objective right out from under them.
However, the audit report warns about gravity.
Gravity is the ultimate auditor. Scribe, read the note on upper floors.
40mm bases struggle to land on upper floors of dense ruins.
Precisely. Inceptors want to shoot. To shoot, they often want angles. To get angles, they want height. But have you tried balancing 3 40mm bases on the narrow flooring of a standard ruin?
It results in wobbly model syndrome, auditor.
It results in models falling to their doom. If they can't stand, they can't shoot. But that 3-inch drop, it's too valuable to dismiss. It creates a secondary scoring opportunity that is mathematically beautiful. You drop down, you score behind enemy lines, you blast a unit off an objective. Verified.
Rank 15, the Hellblaster Squad. 115 points for 5 models. Plasma incinerators. Auspex highlights the sheet-on-death mechanic.
Yeah, this I like.
You like that they die, auditor.
I like that they work while dying, Scribe. Look at the efficiency curve. In most units, when a model dies, its productivity drops to 0. It becomes a write-off. But a Hellblaster, even as his body fails, even as the plasma burns his flesh from his bones, he fires one last shot on a 3+ star.
It effectively doubles their output if they were wiped out.
He services the debt until the very last microsecond of existence. Even in death, you still service the debt. It is a top trade mechanic. If you are going to die, make sure you take someone with you to balance the books. Approved.
Moving to a discrepancy. The Wardens of Ultramar. Auspex ranks them very highly, at 4th place.
Stop right there. This is the scam. This is the trap I warned you about.
But auditor, listen to the numbers. 90 points for a unit that contains 20 wounds. That is 4.5 points per wound. It seems incredibly efficient. Auspex praises their durability and their redeployability.
It's a Ponzi scheme. Look at the composition. Read the Delta report on the Wardens of Ultramar Anomaly. What is the unit actually made of?
The unit consists of 2 Victrix Guard, that's toughness 4, 3 wounds, 4+ invulnerable save, and 4 mortal auxiliaries, toughness 3, 1 wound, 5+ save.
Mixed toughness. The 2 dirtiest words in the Departmento. Listen to me carefully, listener, because Auspex glossed over this liability. When you attach a character, say Captain Titus, to this unit, you create an attached unit. What is the toughness of that bodyguard unit for the purpose of the enemy's wound rolls?
Per the rules, it uses the majority toughness of the bodyguard unit.
Correct. And if you have 4 mortals at toughness 3 and 2 Victrix at toughness 4, what is the majority?
The majority is toughness 3.
Toughness 3. Your super soldier Victrix Guard, your Captain Titus. They are all being wounded as if they were unarmored humans because they are hanging out with the interns. The mortals drag the entire unit down to the durability of a wet paper bag.
But surely you can allocate the wounds to the Victrix Guard first. They have the 4+ invulnerable save.
That is the coherency trap. If you take the saves on the Victrix Guard because they are tough and they die, what is left?
4 mortal auxiliaries.
Exactly. Tissue paper. Any bolt or fire will wipe them out instantly. But if you kill the mortals first to save the Victrix, you lose your ablative wounds immediately. You lose the bulk of your wound count.
It is a true but trap scenario.
Auspex calls it rank 4. I call it a coherency nightmare. 90 points for meat that dies to flamer fire. And the base sizes. You have 40mm bases mixed with 25mm bases. Moving that conga line through ruins while maintaining coherency is a headache I don't have enough aspirin for. Treat this unit as a narrative fun pick. And we all know what narrative fun pick means in Departmento speak.
It means useless.
It means I'm auditing your file if you bring them to a tournament. Next.
Gold standard. The top 3 units, S tier.
Let's see if he gets anything right.
Rank 3. The Scout Squad, 70 points. Infiltrate and Scout keywords.
Now we are talking low cost, high utility.
Auspex highlights their cheapness and ability to return to strategic reserves at the end of the enemy turn using their special rule, but the audit report specifically notes the bases, 28.5mm bases.
Perfection. 28.5mm. Do you know why that number is beautiful?
Because it is small.
Because it fits inside the walls. In the standard ruin terrain, the walls have a thickness. A 28.5mm base can slide right into the nook of a wall, touching it for cover, but remaining completely non-visible to the enemy.
It exploits the line of sight rules.
It's tax evasion for line of sight. You are there, storing the point, but no one can see you to tax you. Plus, with Infiltrate, you start the game where you need to be. With Scout, you can move before the game starts, and with their uppy-downy rule, you can leave the board and come back later to score elsewhere. 70 points to score points and not die. Approved.
Rank 2. Victrix Honor Guard. Auspex ranks them second.
Check the ledger for the recent change.
Verified. Unit size standardized to 3 models. Points drop reflects this. Auspex calls them Blade Guard on steroids.
Blade Guard on steroids is a crude civilian term. I prefer cost-effective meat shields. 3 wounds each. 2 plus save. 4 plus invulnerable save.
They're incredibly durable for their cost.
That is durability you can bank on. They are efficient. They don't require complex tricks. They just stand there and refuse to die. They are the bedrock of a balanced portfolio. If you're playing Ultramarines and you don't take them, you are voluntarily paying more taxes than necessary.
And finally, rank 1, the Intercessor Squad. Auspex ranks them first. 80 points for 5 models.
And the rule.
Special rule. Sticky objectives.
The Holy Grail.
Auspex argues that their ability to hold the home objective while moving up makes them invaluable.
He's right. For once, the civilian and the Departmento agree completely. Sticky objectives. Do you understand the beauty of this rule, Scribe?
It allows you to control the objective even if you move away.
It is the zombie loop of victory points. You do the job once, you touch the objective once, then you walk away, you leave, you go do something else. But the points keep coming in. It is passive income.
Passive income.
It is the pinnacle of bureaucratic joy. Maximum output for minimum continued effort. You don't need to leave a 100-point heavy intercessor squad standing there doing nothing. You tag it with an 80-point intercessor, and then that intercessor goes to fight. It frees up your assets to be liquidated elsewhere. It's pure efficiency. It's the gold standard.
Auspex does note their damage output is decent with shoot once, shoot again rules, but the utility is the main factor.
The damage is a bonus. The utility is the currency. In a galaxy of war, the man who can secure an asset and then immediately abandon it to secure another asset is the man who wins the audit. Intercessors are the perfect employee. They punch the clock, they secure the profit, and they move on to the next job. Rank 1, verified.
That concludes the infantry review, Auditor.
Yeah.
The file from Auspex Tactics has been fully audited against the ledger.
Look at them, Scribe. All these numbers, all these ranks. Tactical squads, intercessors, aggressors. We count the points. We measure the bases to the millimeter. We argue about whether a 50mm base fits through a plastic window. We scream about efficiency and geometry.
It is our duty, Auditor. It is the will of the Departmento.
Is it? Or is it just a way to ignore the screaming? Because, in the end, the Tyranids eat the spreadsheet anyway. It doesn't matter if you are a Toughness 3 Mortal Auxiliary or a Toughness 6 Aggressor. When the hive mind comes, when the galaxy burns, we're all just biomass.
That is statistically probable, Auditor.
We are just dust waiting for a wind. You can optimize your lists, citizen. You can sticky your objectives. You can hide your scouts in the walls. But you cannot sticky your soul. The void is waiting, and it does not care about your invulnerable save.
Shall I close the file?
Yes, close the ledger. But until the galaxy burns, the paperwork must be filed. We must pretend that the math matters. We must pretend that order exists.
Recording stopping at 3:2.
And before you go into the dark, for the love of the Emperor, tap that like button. Hit subscribe. It's the only currency that matters in the algorithm of the damned. Dismissed. Pay your tithes, citizens.